Imagine this. You have all your plans set, tickets bought, accommodation booked, and goodbye said. You are ready. This is how a lot of us start our journey, but there is an old adage. The best laid schemes of mice and men. All of a sudden, you're thrust into situations you would never dream of, making decisions you would never face at home. It can be uncomfortable and even downright dangerous, and sometimes it'll make you question why you left home in the first place. I've met many different types of travelers, and it drives me to these two questions. What kind of person would do this, and how did it affect them?
Questions, just so I'm trying to restate the question, like in your answer, if it's okay.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna start off with the basics. So, what is your name?
My name is Simon Montoya Perez. That's my name.
Hello, my name is Keiko, and I am from. It's complicated.
Do you want the full fucking name?
I would like the full fucking name, please.
My name is Ryan Clark.
My name's Paul Gennaro Silvestre Porelli.
My name is Melissa.
Thiago.
Hi, Ellie. Hello.
I'm Daniel, I'm 34 and I'm from the United Kingdom, just outside London.
About me is I am this random old guy, okay, that decided to take the journey of his life that was supposed to be 6 months and turned into 3 years. Voila.
I came to Europe a couple of times with my family first, and after the first time, well, when I was a kid, I always said to my mom, like my first memory I have is like telling my mom that I'm gonna travel. But I was saying always that I was gonna go to the US. That was my dream since I was a kid. Why? I don't know. But I was telling her when I was 6, I'm gonna go to the US. I'm gonna turn 18 and I'm gonna leave.
I first started traveling alone when I was 18 years old. I had a weird affinity for the United States and got the opportunity to live there. So I went off to Michigan then. That was where it started.
I guess I can't get away from it. In December of 2019, I went to Afghanistan to work. So that was, I guess, my first travel recently. Now, I've been to Ireland when I was 16, but I was only there for 2 weeks. I was young. So when I was getting ready to go to Afghanistan, I was 22. Went to Kuwait first, then to Afghanistan. And after 9 months in Afghanistan, I went to Croatia, flew into Zagreb, and I've been all around Croatia, but it began here in Zagreb.
Actually, my journey began in an ambulance, a really kind of interesting road trip around the United States of America for 2 months. So it was an interesting ride because we were selling t-shirts in order to make money to pay for gas to continue to travel around the United States. So that's where it started.
I start 6 months a year, I live outside the UK, basically. I look at it as in different countries.
Have you ever lived longer, like in one place?
Only like a year in Greece.
What Greece?
I was working out there.
What were you doing there?
I was a holiday rep.
Last year.
What was the plan? Like, how did you decide where to go? What was your first country on the list?
Well, when I came to Europe last year, I had no idea, honestly. And I was going through some stuff in my life, and I was like, I need to go somewhere. And I was like, I bought a one-way ticket, and first I went to Canada, and then the UK, and then 13 different countries. And yeah, that's how I'm here in Croatia. And it's been 5 months.
I decided to go to Poland. I was in Montreal actually, and I wanted to volunteer because I was already being a volunteer in Montreal, like working in animal shelters and all that shit. And I was like, this is the only thing that makes me happy. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Poland. There's this teaching English program for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel qualified to do this. Like I feel like, yeah, I'm the kind of person that should do this. And yeah, that's why I decided to go to Poland the first time, and I've never regretted it.
Just feel like it's, I don't know, rush every time. From my house to my job is kind of 2 hours to go and 2 hours to come back, which means you lose like 4 hours of your day plus 8 hours working. So yeah, it's sometimes just feel, I've got stolen in Brazil once, so I said no, it's not for me anymore. I need to travel to think about another stuff. And yeah, I was 19 to 20 to Australia, and I was supposed to stay in Australia just for 6 months. I stayed a year. And yeah, I just left Australia because my love story in France, so I had to go to France. Otherwise, I'll be in Australia forever.
Well, I, from Greece, went to Montenegro, and I got to the border, and they're like, oh no, you can't come in. I was like, actually, I can, and this was back in August. So I initially came here during the summer, got in and worked my way up from Dubrovnik, and then ended up here in Zagreb.
Travel stories are good and all, but I think the market is saturated with such topics. I want to go a little deeper. I want to know if travel can really change someone's view.
The view of the world. Of course, it has changed everything, and I think one of the spots that traveling has hit the most, like on my way of viewing things, is like on myself and on my own country. Like I think coming from Colombia, like people don't travel a lot there. We mainly travel like inside the country, and you don't have like the opportunity of going out of the country that often. And I think we live like in a bubble, you know, and coming out of there and seeing the perspective other people has on our country and of us being from there is very like surprising, or yeah, it's something different. And then see like how everything really is out there, how like out of the perspective of being from Colombia, what you hear there, what the info you consume there. And also like it has shown me how everywhere is kind of similar as well, but like in their own way, you know. And just like, I don't know, made me realize like how you can connect with everyone in different ways, and like how every country you go, you connect in different kind of things with people. But it's, I don't know how to really explain it, you know. It's like everywhere you go has like this little thing that makes it special. Everywhere has this kind of things, but everything is very unique, you know, in everywhere you go.
I think for me, I was kind of unhappy. I kind of always wanted to travel and to be elsewhere, and for me, it was an excuse to, I don't know. It felt like it felt more normal. The routine of life in the UK has never really worked for me. It's very foreign. I don't understand how a lot of people do it, and so traveling for me is it's given me the opportunity to obviously, to be very cliche and say that I learn a lot about myself, to learn about a lot of different things I didn't know I liked. But mainly for me, I'm a massive people person, and to have the ability to travel places and meet people who you can resonate with, but also learn from, is I don't know. It's a very nice experience. I feel like I've gained a lot more from that than I have any of the social structures that are designed to teach you things.
What effect has travel had on my view of the world? Well, when you travel, you meet new people, obviously, right? And that's, I mean, having not traveled too much, I'm not super well traveled, but that was kind of my, like the big reason why I wanted to travel. I wanted to meet new people. The US is a very big country, so there's a lot of different people there. You can travel 1,000 miles in the US and meet a completely different person than you would meet in the place you left from. But leaving the US and traveling to a foreign country, especially, you know, out of the Americas to Europe, is so different. You get such a different perspective from the people in that country, right? They have a completely different view on the country you're in than you do. They have a completely different view on the country you came from than you do. And naturally, right, they weren't raised there. They don't have those same preconceived notions as you do, having grown up. Some things that happen to them, they'll just say, oh, that's, you know, how it is. And same thing with you. You can say, oh, that's just how my country is. Whereas the person you meet from a different country will ask, why is it that way? And it's strange not necessarily having an answer for that.
I started this trip thinking, oh, you know, I'm such a happy-go-lucky person, and I always have been. And I surround myself with happy people who are, you know, looking toward their future and doing well and in their own lives. And I don't like to travel or be around toxic people, so I have come across in 2 places that I've gone to, and that narrows it down because I've only been to 5 this trip, where it's been a toxic environment, and it made me rethink how I perceive some people and the way that they act. It's not cool, so don't do that.
The way that traveling has like changed my view or skewed it has been like the #1 reason why everyone in the world has to travel. It's like it has opened up my mind to the point where I am like 100,000 times more grateful every single day that I wake up. Whereas before I was waking up stressed, where I was taking my job, my relationships, my family for granted. But then it's not until you travel and you see, you know, the ups and downs. You see poverty, and then you see extreme wealth. And then you see countries who are like devastated by unfortunate events, war, politics. And then you see countries that are like so advanced that you have this roller coaster of emotions of knowledge of how the world is working. And so like now I wake up every day and I'm like, where to next? But not only that, but like, yo, we're alive and doing pretty good, you know? So it's been the most I don't know how to say it. It's not even describable in words.
That's a very strange question because, good question. That's a very good question. I feel like nothing has changed. From when I was at home or when I'm here, I'm the same person and I'm still searching for the same things, whatever that may be. And no, nothing is. I'm not looking for anything, I'm not doing anything. I'm not acting differently from if I was at home or if I was traveling. I'm just the same person, I don't know.
First of all, the thing we spoke before about my age. I mean, once you start traveling, meet people and alone by yourself, like, that's why the first thing was about age. Like, nowadays I don't think I have age to travel or age to start something new or age to start to study something. So that was the first thing affected me a lot. Like, oh, I was 19 to 20 in Australia, but now I'm 32 and I decided to travel again to now here in Croatia. And for me it was just like, okay, let's make it, let's travel. And some people, you're 32, maybe go and try to stay there. For me it was the first thing that changed in my mind. Second thing is like, yeah, I don't feel any pressure anymore about choosing things and like making decisions with pressure. I mean, I can make my decision and I can change. And that's why, just because when you're like in your country traveling, in my case in Brazil, I mean, maybe lots of places in the world, but in Brazil, like, You learn to study in your high school, college, university, you got a job. Here in Europe, at least when I was in Australia, when I met people from Europe, some people work, some people, study, university, and before they start to find a job or before even the university, they travel around Europe because it's easy to travel around countries here to decide what they want. So in my mind, the change is just like, I don't have any pressure. I feel now I became a man, as I said. I know how to cook. Okay, pasta, that's it, amazing.
We were talking earlier and I was just saying that before, in the US, people are usually like working and they just don't think about living the moment, just have fun. And most of a lot of my friends, they just work and go out after work and like just get drunk. You spend all their money in fancy restaurants, clothes and stuff. And I feel like now I don't care much about, obviously I like dressing up and like just treating myself, but I also think like I don't have to travel fancy to enjoy life, like I stay in hostels, I stay in hotels, I stay in Airbnb, it's just like there's so many things that you can do and you don't really have to spend that much money. Yeah, so I will say that I'm a different person for sure. Yeah, I feel like I grew up, like I'm a better person now.
It's a lot more open. I respect a lot more cultures and I'm interested in more cultures now. I feel when you meet people, like at the moment there's a guy from Syria in our hostel. Everyone's got a bad perspective of Syrians a lot of the time, especially in the UK. And you'll go on about refugees. When you meet and you talk and you learn about the cultures, the music. I think it makes you grow and respect the life you have as well. So.
Well, when you go back home, like, do you talk to your friends about the experiences?
Yeah, of course. It also gives me an idea of other places to go to. Like, I'd like to go and visit Syria, for instance.
Are they impressed or maybe like jealous? They want to experience the same stuff? Or?
Some don't understand it. Some do. You always get the I wish I travelled. I wish I could travel, and you can. Anyone can travel, and like it doesn't matter if you've got kids. Like you can still take your kids and travel and see places. And they always give it the old, I can't. I've got like the wife and kids. Take them with you. Like, take a month off and go somewhere.
In my discussions, it seems that, as in life, there are not always clear answers. Travel affects different people differently. It really comes down to what you're open to. I've definitely met a few people that completely be stuck in their ways. However, most are far from that. To sum things up, I think Simon says it best.
Right before I left for my travels, I read this sentence in a cafe I went in Colombia that says, when a man travels, when he comes back, he's a totally different man. Like when someone is leaving, say goodbye to that person because when he comes back, it's gonna be someone totally different.